best show ever. I don't know.
I get all that stuff where you're talking about that, but let's be realistic. If you're going to that extreme, and you're actually, I agree with the bow thing. I still suck with bow. I'm still learning.
Pick up a crossbow.
Well, I've got those too.
Exactly.
And I'm learning to be a better archer. My brothers can shoot aspirin out of the air with a bow. I didn't get that gene. What I can do is hit a quarter at 300 yards. That they don't do that so well. Okay,
true.
So,
what in the end of the world, animals are going to become very abundant very quickly. We're going to be able to take bow shots all day long and recover our arrows.
See, are you going to be packing around your fucking bow and a defensive gun?
Yeah, probably. I have a sling for my bow.
That's a lot.
And
with
carry. Me, I'm just thinking I'm going to take one rifle, one wherever I go, and that would be the one. If tomorrow I had to give up everything but one rifle and one pistol,
it'd be a 22.
It'd be my PTR, and it would be my Glock 19.
Yeah. Mine's a 7.62 Arsenal AK and a Glock 19.
Yeah, but you also know where there's a shit ton of ammo, so you're going to try to rob me, and I'll kill you.
So
that's the first stop.
Let's talk about the reason why I chose those calibers, though, honestly has to do with where we live. Anywhere else in the globe, I'm going to take a 7.62 by 39.
Yeah.
Okay, 100 million
of
those damn things made versus what we have here.
Right.
But in the U.S., there are 4 calibers, I think. The 9mm, the 22, the 308, and the 5.56 are everywhere.
Yep.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's it. Okay, and then the last one is 12 gauge.
Yeah, I mean, 12 gauge is it's going to be very common. I mean, but also so is 30-06. Think about how many old fuddy-duddy guys are just hoarding.
I'm surprised you guys don't use that term.
Why? I try to not.
I like
why. Why would? Says the guy that doesn't own a 1911. Anyway, why?
I like the term boomer.
Why would we disparage anybody in our own community?
That is the problem. Dude.
You know my biggest problem with that, though, is that the FUDs disparage everyone else.
They do, but
because
they're still
they don't
part
understand.
of the community.
They don't understand the black rifle thing.
They don't. But
and the real thing is that it's no different. It's just a rifle. I mean, an M1 Grand. I saw one of the coolest memes, and I thought it was so hilarious from Mom's Demand Action that shows the M1 Grand. Why can't you have this instead of that? This isn't a weapon of war. The M1 Grand, ask the Germans how well that worked for. It is quite literally a weapon of war that was there forever. Even if it was a joke. The fact is, the M1 Grand has done a lot of ass kicking. And I am terrified
Killed more
of
people than cancer.
I'm terrified of some of those boomers with an M1 Grand because beware of the dude that has one rifle.
Yeah, exactly. Nope. I've always stood firm by that. Like, beware the guy that trains with one weapon.
Yep.
What's the other one? Beware of an old man in a young man's game.
Yeah.
That was an operator thing for a while.
Yeah. The other one is
the 1911 isn't trash.
It's all speculation until you put your dick in it.
Yeah. The 1911 isn't trash. It is.
I love the 1911.
It's 100 years old plus. You have to understand when it was built, what it was intended for. And even the Glock and the plastic Tupperware guns have to give a nod to say they're part of the 1911 community. Because without that design, you wouldn't have the Glock.
Yeah.
What makes them different is, well, they're heavy. But I will say this. If you've shot a 1911 and you were raised as a 1911 guy, the triggers are immaculate until you start shooting the plastic Tupperware guns. That's going to be your hardest change.
Mm-hmm. So, he, for the first time, shot my 1911 last weekend. Is the easiest fucking gun to shoot.
8-on-8 on steel.
Yeah. Easy as...
6-inch steel.
So easy to shoot. The trigger is...
we were at like
15.
What I've noticed about the 1911, because I've owned one, is that they're
you felt splatter
ammo specific.
No. We were at 10.
No,
him. Sorry. Mine is not.
Mine is an ammo whore. It'll only
but yours
use,
is a Colt.
Yeah, mine will only use 2 types of ammo reliably. One of them is Winchester White Box. Thank God for small miracles.
They all fucking shoot Winchester White Box.
And
for
the
some
other
reason.
one, believe it or not, is Federal Hydra Shock HSTs.
So
it does well with those.
Because those are hard to
get and run.
Well,
but
they're hard to run, yeah.
But that's the only 1911 that I own, and that for the longest time, it has always been particular about diet. But then I talked to other people, like our sheriff, who runs a 1911, and he said, you know what the biggest problem is? Shake your 1911, and I go, if it doesn't rattle, he said, then it's too tight.
Right. You put lapping compound on that shit.
And he says, what the problem is that they like to be loose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
just like an AK.
The guy I am with a pistol,
you don't want a sloppy.
I don't want a loose, sloppy pistol. That said, my 1911 has been very good, but it is very finicky when it comes to ammunition. It is only that thing.
All right, guys. Well, you can't see. Anyway, everything's clear when it comes on the show.
Yeah,
little rattle.
And we still need to put some lapping compound on that.
So what happens is like I said, the gun, for being as old as it is, you have to look at the innovation that was in this.
Exactly.
Well, so I'm a history buff too.
Yep,
when I look at this, I look at and I think that
in 1911,
they
built this. The military forced them to add the beaver tail, the grip safety. But beyond that, the things are incredible. The engineering, beautiful.
This was done by a guy with like a 6th grade education.
Yeah, our John Lord Brown, and Savior, John Moses Brown.
Okay. He did it with this guy, right? Okay. The Germans love this so much that they started copying this, and they actually have captured places where they actually made these for the German army, and the Germans in World War II were pistol junkies. If you didn't know that, you can find high powers with the Schwarzka on it.
You've got to come to my shop. I've got something I want to show you.
Oh, shit, yes.
It's a French 90 coup with German or Nazi.
Wehrmacht.
Yeah, on the grip.
The Schwarzka.
Yeah, and I did some research on it because I'd never even seen this thing before. So it was manufactured by the French for the German. I'm sure you know this. But yeah, I have one in the shop.
So what's really funny is you will find French 8mm labels with Schwarzkas on them because they gave them to cooks and rear echelon troops in World War II after they captured France.
Really?
And the other thing you'll find is that in Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia, they had Mauser plants there, and Brno was one of the plants there.
Right.
They were actually captured. They took the runs literally off the shelf that they were storing their guns, stamped proof marks, Nazi proof marks on them, and sent them out the door. That's why you look at VZ-24 Czechoslovakian Mausers, and you're like, well, that's a Czech Mauser. It's not or a Yugo Mauser. It's not worth as much as a K98, a German Mauser. And then you on the other side, or you take it out of the stock, and you see, oh, it's got a Schwarzka on it. And there's no difference in them. And in fact, if you're a Mauser collector, you actually want the older guns because the steel was better at the beginning of the war than it was at the end of the war.
Because they were so low on materials that steel just went to shit.
And for all the press of this guy being a bad gun, the Luger is way worse than this.
Oh,
the German
God,
Luger.
yes.
I own a Luger that has been nickel chromed.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Okay, and I've restored it back. It's still got the nickel finish on it, which it breaks my heart.
Can I fondle it?
You can shoot it, and it is shooter. That's why I kept it the way it is. It is not a classic shooter. The gun works, okay, but I will tell you that you look at that and you see all the little places where grit and sand can get in there. That's why the Germans put it in the holster they did, was to block all that stuff off. It isn't as durable as that gun.
Oh, no. But the engineering behind the Luger, it's just so incredible that the upwards...
The engineering for the time frame on the Luger,
what's funny
amazing.
about Vormir Luger, or Georg Luger, not Vormir Luger.
Yeah.
Georg Luger designed that gun back when there was still black powder cartridges.
Yep.
Right.
So, it had been around. It was one of the first commercially available semi-automatic pistols.
Yep.
That's why it was even brought in.
They called it a machine pistol back then.
Well, and believe it or not, there are some artillery Lugers that have selector switches that actually you can put a snail drum in, a 3-round snail drum, and fire full auto.
Don't make me hard.
So, yes, I'm a history buff, so that's also how I became a gun guy. is my dad and my uncles all
it kind of coincides.
hooked me with history. And when they hooked me with history, they were like, hey, this is how this came about, and this is why.
Cody says, Lugers equal classic high point. He's not wrong, but it's kind of sad.
Okay, but no.
Yeah.
Well, here's where my comeback is with that. For the time, that son of a bitch was expensive.
Dude.
And it was advanced as
Yeah,
fuck.
I mean, when the first copies came out, they were $35, and this is in 1900. That's like... That's not high point. Yeah. That's not cheap for 1900.
No. But beautiful machines.
Yeah.
I fucking love
I love the engineering, everything about them. Same with the 1911. During the time frame that they were made, it fucking blows. It's like Ancient Aliens, dude.
Yep.
It's like fucking aliens came and built the pyramids. Well, yeah, they came and designed the Luger, and they designed the 1911 too.
So, have you ever seen a failure with this? I know you've only shot it once. I've shot it, I don't know, maybe 1,200 rounds through it.
Is that a Springfield?
It is a Springfield. It's the range officer. So, it does not have... I don't have to put the Allen wrench in to get the buffer, or the bushing to turn, which is nice. So, it's the half guide rod.
But even mine, the lightweight officer's model, I don't have to use a wrench. You just push it down and spin this to the side.
Right, but you know...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're supposed to use...
Some of them have... You're talking about a full-length guide rod where they have to have the wrench to spin that off.
Yeah. So I have the partial guide rod, which is nice. No buffer in there.
An MG42.
Yep,
That's the other dream gun I have.
Goddamn right, dude. That's up there with like the 240 Bravo.
And the thing is that for its time, if you guys didn't know this, the German Army just phased out their MG3.
Yep.
Which was the MG42 rebarreled and rechambered for a 308.
Yep.
Okay? They just phased that out last year.
Yeah. For
the M240 Bravo and the Mini-Me.
Well, think about it. How long have we been running the fucking Browning 1919?
Yeah.
Since 1919-ish. Probably 21.
So, the Germans used it. There's still countries out there that are making parts, and still Yugoslavia still uses, what's left of Yugoslavia, still uses the MG3. They have a different designation for it. The Afghans and the Pakistanis love them. They're not getting rid of them.
Here so that brings up, we're going really late, but here's another thing. The fucking Afghanis fucking took on the Russians with homemade fucking bolt action, pipe barreled fucking guns.
Yep.
Does that not like blow your ass away or what?
No, because we would do the same fucking thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you and I would, or all of us here.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You're fighting for the homeland, so you're going to use whatever
you got, and you're going to fight your fucking heart out, and it doesn't matter. And that's why, when the boogaloo happens, people are in fucking trouble, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
because there's going to be I don't give a fuck what you got. If you got a bolt action and you can run that bitch,
so the East and West Coast,
that one right there.
Yeah.
You're going down from a mile away.
Yeah.
So East and West Coast are fucked.
Yeah.
And let's just explain why. In the middle of the U.S., where most reasonable people live,
right?
We have power plants because they don't want them on the East and West Coast. And what'll happen is on the East and West Coast, they're going to start their shit, and we're going to turn off the power, and they're going to die.
They're fucking California right now.
Yeah,
they're California right now.
Freaking the fuck out. Roden just got evacuated because of fires.
Well, it's not that. It's that PG&E, the power outage.
Yeah,
in
they're
Sacramento.
shutting the power down for over 1 million or 2 million.
Well,
people.
no, they brought it back at 9 o'clock tonight or something.
Did they?
But yeah.
But if you watch that, there was a 3 tiers that happened in, and at one time, over 1 million customers were affected by the power outage
because they were concerned.
Think about that.
1 million people without power. People are going to be eating each other.
If it was extended longer than what happened.
Yes. Yeah. People would freak the fuck out. Game over.
Yep.
They're fucking raiding everybody.
The internet don't work.
Well, you think about all those Californians and shit, dude. Those hipsters and fuck. My phone's out. What the fuck am I going to do now?
I'm actually kind of happy when my phone goes out. I go sit on the hill.
I go camping when I don't get no more signal.
Two-way radios.
Yeah.
Back to the old school.
And that's what I have. I have that too.
Yeah.
Everybody needs comms.
Yep.
You have to have licensing for it.
Ham
Well,
radio.
no,
Ham radio,
only
yes.
if you, an FCC or
You have to have a
FFC.
ham radio license if
Yeah.
you have, and you can get a frequency
Holy
too.
shit!